and welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoy the show. Well, we have the pleasure of having a guest that's been here before. I know that you enjoy her very much. I hear from all of you that you love this. We're talking about the Saybrook Stage Company, and Terry Carigliano, who is the founder, producer, director, is my guest along with one of her actors. We're going to talk about the play today that they're doing at the Kate, and it's Ron St. John III, who is also performing with Saybrook Stage Company. And I want to thank you both so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Well, let's do an introduction for the audience because they probably know a little bit about you from before, but let's do it again.
Okay.
Why don't you give us your background? Tell us about yourself.
Sure. Well, I've always been involved in the theater in some way, shape, or form, even since I was little. But we moved to this area in about 1999, I guess. And then the Kate was in the process of opening. And at that time, I always wanted to start a theater company. And so in 2011, we found the Saybrook Stage Company out of the Kate. And we've been going ever since, 2 shows a year.
Well, why don't we talk about that? Because people will hear Saybrook Stage Company, Old Saybrook, Connecticut, and say, I've heard of it, I haven't heard of it, I'd love to know more about it. How did you start the theater company, and what is it all about?
Well, we started the theater company with a very simple show called Our Town. 2 ladders and 2 kitchen tables, and that's about it. And now we've really grown. We have a large community of people that really have helped us so much. And our actors come from all over, and they have all different day jobs. And as part of this community, we have people who donate building space to us, like the Ginty Group, and which is amazing. And we have set builders and set designers and everybody coming in and helping and coming together, which is so important because for theater that's what you need.
And Ron, let's talk about you, and why don't you take some time and introduce yourself to the viewer?
Sure. So I'm Ron St. John III. I am an actor in Connecticut now. I'm from Vermont, actually. I moved here about a year and a half ago to be closer to more professional theater stuff. I've been acting for 10, 11 years now. And I'm having a great time.
And we talked about this before we started taping. Did you find yourself as a young person wanting to be an actor? Was that something you just had to do?
I don't think I recognized that it was something that I had to do when I was younger. I used to quote movies all the time, still do with my family. As a youngin', I had memorized the donkey lines in Shrek, that kind of thing, and I'd say them all over the house in voices and stuff like that. So I think there's a part of me that was always theatrical and leaning into the acting, but I didn't recognize it in me until high school when I started and I did my first show.
And that was in musical theater?
Yes, my first show was Tarzan.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So were you leaning in musical theater? You had mentioned some of it a little bit in the college arena as well. Was musical theater where you were at?
Musical theater was where I started and is where I'm at. I've done some plays here and there. I did Lend Me a Tenor a long time ago, and I was actually looking for a play around the time that I found Lend Me a Tenor, and it came at just the right time, I think.
Okay. So now that we've talked about Lend Me a Tenor, let's talk about Lend Me a Tenor. It's your play that you're doing this time.
It is,
Tell us about it.
Well, it's a farce that's written by Ken Ludwig, and it is pure fun, pure silliness and laughter, and we chose that because we think it's a good time. In where we all are is to share some laughs together and just kind of forget about troubles and stresses and come share the collective experience together at the Kate, which is so important. And I think it's funny, I should have the direct quote of Ken Ludwig. I'm going to try to paraphrase if I can, but he was saying the reason he writes farce and comedic pieces like that is that he loves the idea of people just coming together and laughing and being a part of something bigger where they can kind of forget about the world and just know that everything's going to be okay. It's like throwing the pieces up of a puzzle and they're all going to land and it's all going to be okay. And I read that and I thought, oh, what a great quote for a playwright to say that that's the reason behind his love of farces and love of just all-out humor. And it's just, this cast is incredible. And I think the interesting thing for me, directing it and also being in it, is the fact that I've seen other productions of Lend Me a Tenor, professional and non-professional productions of it, and our cast is so varied and so different, and everybody has their own unique styles. It is so much fun to watch and also be a part of. We're just enjoying every minute of it, which is really fun.
And I think that one thing we should say is that Saybrook Stage Company just does plays at the Kate only in January and July. Can you tell us why?
Well, I think it originally started with that schedule because I taught at Quinnipiac for many years, and so I was off in January and I was off in July. So I think that's how the January-July started going, because that was when I had my free time, if leading up to it, certainly. But so we do 2 shows a year, non-musicals. But in this one, the interesting part is there is some singing. Oh. Ron is a beautiful singer, as is Mark Gilchrist, and also Charles Ruziano, who's in this as well. They all have great voices, so it's really fun. There's little pieces of opera in there, and so I think the audience will really get a kick out of it.
What made you decide on the Kate?
Well, the Kate is just, I can't think of a better place to start, and there's just a community of people there who have helped us, over and over again throughout the years. I mean, Brett Elliott has been such an integral part of who we are and what we've brought, to the Shoreline community, and we're just so grateful for everything he's helped us with. He's a great friend, as well as a great supporter of Saybrook Stage, and it's nice to have the Kate behind us, because it's just, I can't think of a better theater to perform in myself.
You had mentioned before that you're a singer.
Yes.
Tell us about the singing part. You're saying opera is not it, though.
Operas, it's not my strength, for sure, but I did a couple of operas when I was in college. So I've been around that world as far as directors and classmates, colleagues. So I'm having a good time sort of channeling all my old friends in their operatic styles, and when I sort of transform into this opera person, and just sort of becoming that.
Television, film, commercials, video, any kind of anything outside of theater. Have you thought about it or done anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done a short film. I did that last October, and that was my first short film. I've always said that I'd love to do anything that I can tell a story, because that's what it's about for me, is telling the journey of someone that I'm not as a character. And that's just the thing for me, whether it's musicals, plays, television, movies. I'd love to do any of it.
Probably a lot of actors are watching us now saying, oh my gosh, here's an actor sitting on the sofa with Terry. Did you study it? How do you recommend that somebody start performing as an actor? Any advice?
Yeah, look into the local stuff. That's where I dipped my toes in. If it wasn't high school, I started in community theater, and I just looked, I reached out to places, and one place I was lucky enough to be taken in by, and I learned sort of on the job. I've also studied at college and school. I'm just finishing up classes with a Meisner studio right now, and getting sort of that professional training. So just look into the local stuff. That's the best stepping stone.
Let's look at the 2 pictures before we go to Thank You to the Kate. Tell us what we're seeing here.
Well, this is one of our promotional posters, and this shows the cast of Lend Me a Tenor. And you'll see this circulating on Facebook, Instagram, and all sorts of places.
I love the icon there. Is that a Lend Me a Tenor icon?
It is. We've kind of enhanced it a little bit and changed it up a little bit for our production, but many times that's what they will use, and it's on the Samuel French.
It's beautiful. How about the next one? Well, okay. It's coming.
That's okay. I think the
So
next-
meanwhile, you've got 3, 5. Oh, here we go. There we go.
Right, and that's just the main logo for the production.
Okay.
So you can
Okay.
see that around
And you've
town.
got 3, 4, 5, 8 people in the cast?
Yes.
How is it having 8 people on stage?
It's great. I think it's wonderful. I think our biggest challenge for this is that we are doing a farce, but right now we don't have doors. And because we're in a space that's just, our set's being built one side, we're on the other side. So I think one of the challenges that the actors will have going into the Kate on build-in day is getting used to doors, because in farces, it's all about closing doors and opening doors and things like that. So so that'll be a tad little bit of a challenge, but I think it will be an easy transition because they've seen what the space looks like and they know the spacing of the stage and things like that.
Okay, we are going to take a break, but our break is going to be the very special thank you to the Kate that you've been kind enough to bring to us. So let's play that and come back and you tell us what we've seen.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, if we could play that now, that would be great.
Grateful they are that the Saybrook Stage Company is part of the Shoreline artistic community, and we're so happy to be a part of the Kate and to be able to produce live theater in such a beautiful venue in the perfect New England town. But Saybrook Stage Company has given us so many things in return over the last 12 years. The friendships we've made and the professional connections and opportunities that present themselves to us just keep growing every year. We may run the Saybrook Stage Company, but the success of it is the combined efforts and passions of countless talented, energetic people. There's the actors, of course, but the people behind the scenes also put in hours of work that make it all happen. There are directors, set designers, lighting designers, set builders, stage managers, costume designers, hair and makeup designers, prop masters, and stage crew. And the local support of businesses in the area like the Gainty Group, who willingly donate rehearsal and set building space, and the Westbrook Ambulance Association. It's a labor of love for all of us. It's not always easy, but the rewards are something I never could have imagined when we produced Our Town all those years ago. We're so grateful to Brett Elliott and all the people at the Cape for their constant support of all we do. Each time we move into the Cape to build a set for a new show, there is such a warm feeling of community. If you're an artist that's lucky enough to perform at the Cape, it doesn't matter where you're from. LA, New York, Chicago, Hartford, or right here in her own backyard. While you're there, you too feel as if the theater's your home. Here's to you, Kate. I hope we make you proud.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, I hope you're enjoying the show. Terry, that's a very special piece that I asked you to bring every time you're here because I love it. Okay. Tell us what we just saw.
Well, it was just basically a montage of a lot of shows that we've done in the past, and just it kind of gives us the feeling of all the people that come together, to help us, produce something like this. It might look easy to some people, but we all know that it's not, and it takes, as they say, a village to kind of put these things together. And it's amazing the people have come into our lives over the last 15 plus years. We're really grateful to all that.
Okay, let's talk about the website, saybrookStage.org. Tell us what the viewer will find when they visit it.
So on our website, you can find all our past shows as well as the current shows. We also post auditions that are coming up. Once we decide on plays, we usually post it there, as long as also we post it on Actors Access and Broadway World and things like that. So,
okay, Lend Me a Tenor is your play. It's July, and you'll be at the Kate. Tell us the dates and how does somebody get a ticket?
Sure. So we run from July 17th through the 20th, and we have 2 matinees actually this time around. So there's a Saturday matinee at 2 o'clock and also a Sunday matinee at 2 o'clock. Saturday there's also an evening performance. We have 2 performances that day, so a total of 5. And you can get tickets by going to thekate.org, or you can also go to our website and click on the link there, and it'll take you directly to the Kate's page. So we can buy tickets.
Deciding your plays, how do you decide what play you want to perform?
I think I read a lot of plays, and so does my husband, and so I think it's just a matter of finding something that really speaks to me for that perfect time, of the year. And sometimes it's decided by, how much time, there might be, and the complexity of the set, and what we can do with that kind of thing. But it's interesting. It's as you know, we produced the show that I wrote last summer, Lost Lodge, and it was great fun to do, because I in this day and age, it's hard for me to sometimes find the perfect piece that I want to do. Oh, there's a lot of pieces out there, I know, but sometimes it's a challenge. So last summer was so much fun doing something that I was passionate about and had worked hard on. So it was a great experience.
And I don't think that people know that you're also a playwright. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So last summer, we produced Lost Lodge. It was a full-length play that I had written over the course of the last year and a half or so. It was a series of vignettes about people that visit this cottage, and all sorts of things happen to them, and their lives are changed in ways that they really didn't expect. So it was a little bit of everything, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, a little bit of romance. So it was an interesting project for me. And I'm working on another one as well coming up.
I was going to ask you, is there anything coming in the future?
There is, yeah. Yes, after this one, I'm going to dive more fully into it. But yes, there's something in the future. So.
And I mentioned this before we started taping. Have you thought about 2026, or are you just submerged right now in this play?
Pretty much right now I'm just submerged in this play, but we have a couple ideas, but nothing definite just yet.
Okay, for the actor in you and the actor that's watching, how did you find this audition, and how do you find auditions in general?
Yeah, so I found out about this audition from a mailing list from Broadway.com. I was also on the Backstage subscription website for a little bit that tells you a lot about auditions. I'm always looking up, I'm Googling, auditions in Connecticut, equity stuff, non-equity, everything. And if I find something that's near me or that looks really interesting, I click and I look up whatever information I can on what to prepare, where it is, who it's with, and I just deep dive into that.
Have you thought about performing in New York at all?
Oh yeah, I think I submitted something a little while ago for a musical. It's a 2-hour train ride, which is a little bit of a trek, but
yeah.
Something, if it's the right thing and if it's something that speaks to me and that they would like me for, I'd 1000% do something in New York.
Okay, tell me about your part in Lend Me a Tenor.
So I play Max. I'd call him a classic underdog type. He's dorky. He's always been sort of shot down by his boss, by his girlfriend, just everything. And he's really lacking in self-confidence. And this play sort of brings, he meets his idol, and that brings out that confidence in him to achieve this dream of being a superstar, kind of. And it really brings out, his relationship with his boss, with his girlfriend, and he's a dreamer deep down, I think. But just a classic underdog story, I would call it.
And I don't think people know that you move into the Kate for a week before you put your production on. Tell us what that's like.
So we will move in this coming Sunday. And what happens?
Are you ready?
Yes, we are, absolutely. So what happens is, right now, interestingly enough, our builder is just wonderful, and he's assembled pretty much the whole set as it is in our rehearsal space. So that will all come apart, and then we'll take it over to the Kate, and we'll reassemble it there. But there's a lot that needs to be done, at the Kate still, because this one, for example, is a hotel room. So there's, carpeting, there's, doors that need to be fixed so they swing and they open, correctly, and things like that, and a lot of extra, scenic painting that April will do there. So It's a lot, and then our tech is quite short for a show like this. So our tech would really be Monday and Tuesday night, and then we have an invited dress on Wednesday night for family and friends and things like that, and then we open on Thursday. So it's pretty wild and woolly, but it's a lot of fun.
Now you are rehearsing in other space. You don't have a theater space per se. You're using space to rehearse.
Right.
Tell us what that's like.
It's great. It's right now we have I don't know how many square feet it is, but it's this huge commercial building, and it's air conditioned, and so we're all happy as clams. So we tape out the set. So obviously the parameters of the set you'll see, and we have some of the pieces of furniture that will be used in the actual production. So it's not going in blindly. We have the whole set kind of set up, but for this one it might be interesting to put in the door element.
For the person who's listening right now that said, oh my goodness, I would love to start my own theater company, what was it like for you to start Saybrook Stage? Did you have to go through the legal aspects? How did you start your own theater company?
Well, we're just a private theater company, so we're not technically a whatever, the
501c3.
Yeah, 501c3. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so we're not technically that. So we're just it's just me and my husband, doing this, and I think it's just something we want to do. It's a labor of love, to the community. It's not. So I think it's just a matter of sort of it's kind of our gift back to the community, if you will.
Oh, they must love it because you've been around for so many years now, giving so much enjoyment.
Oh, thanks.
How is it for you to be amongst these 8 people performing? How is it being part of the cast?
It's a blast. I'm having so much fun. As the newcomer, everybody's done stuff that I had never heard of it until I found out about the auditions, because I've only been here for a year. But everyone's super welcoming. It's so much fun.
Have you seen the Kate yet?
I went in for the audition, so I've only seen about the stage. I walked in and I went, oh, this is nice.
You auditioned at the Kate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so great.
Oh yes, right. That we do all our auditions there. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So you get to see it.
Yeah, I didn't get a really, really great look at, outside of the stage, a little bit of backstage in the dressing room. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of it.
How is it to think about, it's a very prestigious theater for our area. How is it for you, thought-wise, of performing in a theater like that?
Oh, exciting. So exciting. I'm used to sort of, I would never call it rinky-dink, but smaller theaters is what I've done a lot of my stuff in. So I'm just excited to be in such a grand venue that everybody's talking about. I tell my friends about, come see my show. They're like, where it's at? I say, oh, it's at this Kate, the Kate, they tell me.
Exactly.
They go, the Kate, I'm there.
Exactly. That's how prestigious it is.
Yeah.
People do know about it in our state and outside of the state. The actors who would like to audition for your theater company, how would they do that?
Well, as I said, we post it on our website, and then it's also backstage, and also Actors Access and Broadway World, things like that. So most of the people who are out there looking for auditions know where to look. But if you're a newcomer, sometimes we do take newcomers. It's tough to do without any experience, obviously, but there are times in the past that we have done that.
And then you don't have housing. People are commuting to you to
No,
perform.
right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's the thought? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, do you expect the theater company to keep going?
I hope so. I don't really know at this point. We take one show at a time.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
that's our motto. But yeah, it's I would love to have it keep going. Knock on wood. So we'll see.
How has it been for you to be a part of this wonderful Saybrook Stage Company?
Fun. I said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again, even at rehearsals, I keep telling everybody I love this show so much. It's very near and dear to me. And it's just fun.
He's just wonderful in his role too. everyone is, but he's just a wonderful lead, and it's just, I think it's great to have someone with Ron's energy and just passion, for the piece and also for theater. I think it's important, and I know people will feel that, and they'll just fall in love with Max. You can't help it.
Okay, we have just about run out of time. Any closing thoughts for the audience? Terry?
Share some laughs together and bring some friends. It's a wonderful night, on the Saybrook shoreline.
Well, I will be there with my mother, so I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited.
That
Thank you
sounds
both
great.
so much for being here today. It's
Thanks
been a
for having
pleasure.
us.
Thank you.
And congratulations and good luck with the
Thank
show.
you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm Deborah Gilbert. You've been tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day today. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Go see it. I know that you'll enjoy it. I guess that's it for today. Have a super day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.